welcome to the Hunter's Quest podcast. This is your host, Hunter McWaters. I'm here with Zach and Jeff from PNWild again. How you guys doing? Well, again with Jeff, not with Zach. This is our first time talking.
Yeah, he's a noob.
Yeah, this is my maiden voyage here.
Nice. What's up, guys?
Yeah, man, thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Super excited to be back on. I think it was about this time last year, Hunter, when we were getting ready for some fall bear action and doing our preseason walkabout. But yeah, happy to be back, dude. Fun stuff.
Yeah, man. I was just talking about I was watching when I was waiting for you guys to join the meeting. I was watching your rifle elk Wyoming hunt. That thing was cool, man.
Oh, thanks, dude. Yeah, it's super exciting watching that thing just climb the views. I know we're all addicted to that stuff, but I was kind of
watching the views.
Yeah, watching the views tick up.
What's it at right now?
I think it's like at 15.1
nice,
or something.
Okay.
So doing pretty well.
17.7.
Oh,
wow.
Took off today a little bit.
Yeah, that's smashing.
Yeah. Thanks, Hunter.
Nice.
Yeah,
So,
he's on it.
Yeah.
And
he wasn't lying. Zach exactly watches our stuff.
Yeah.
You can take it from me if you guys go to YouTube and check it out now. It's definitely worth a watch. It's really similar to kind of how I document hunts. I was just saying before, like, and I totally like mean this in the best way. Like, I watched some of y'all's older stuff like a while ago, like last year, and then I watched this, and it's like you guys have come a long way. And it's like it's really cool, man. It's great. It's great looking stuff.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I think last fall is really when I tried to really up our game. So last year we kind of went across the board. We got all Canon camera bodies to make it all uniform, and Zach had I think he had a Sony. Prior to that, we had like Nikons and Sonys and Canons all mixed together. And there's nothing wrong with any of those bodies, especially today, and they're all just extremely capable. But as far as camera body goes, they all have a certain look, and even if you try to add color to them, they could be a little bit difficult, and you can tell that it's one camera body versus another. And then we just went across the board like Canon R6s and R5, so everything was like super uniform, all the same microphones. So exactly, so all the same mics, all the same attachments and accessories. So
makes it less work in post.
100%, man. Yeah, and then Zach could pick up my camera, I could grab his, Bobby can grab one. So we all know how to run them. We're all super proficient at them. Just makes it like easier, like you said, just easier as far as just grabbing and shooting and going or post, process.
And the color looks really good.
Thanks, man. Yeah, that was a couple just collaborations there on color grading because I'm super new to that, but I just kind of geeked out, especially on the Wyoming one. It's the first time I did it, and then we have a
you did it on the Wyoming one?
Yeah, I did. I do everything myself, and then on the turkey hunt coming out.
Color looks
Thanks,
great.
man. Thank you, appreciate that.
Yeah.
So on the turkey hunt coming out this Sunday, I did the same thing, but I kind of did a little bit more of a more of a fall. It's more of a fall look than a spring look, so I'm not sure if people are gonna really like that or maybe not. Maybe they don't even notice it. I'm just such a nitpicky guy, but I'm glad that you noticed it. But you're another camera guy too, so it makes sense that you would.
I mean, we're hunt film nerds, right? We have to be.
Yes, exactly.
You have to geek out on hunt films if you want to get better at, doing it. So
100%, man. I watch everything.
And you guys do a really good job of telling the story. And I love that, like, you guys are so genuinely, like, just having fun. Like, that's something I got to work on, to be honest. Like, I noticed in this last bear hunt, it was a really tough hunt, but, like, I was stressing way too much and I wasn't, like, enjoying myself enough,
Yeah. That can be tough, man. And we've been there. We're guilty of that.
For sure.
Like, especially when maybe like a special draw tag. And then Wyoming is not a special tag, but it really is. It's for a non-res, like it's a once apparently this year, every 6-year tag now.
Yeah.
For, Bob didn't draw it with the same amount of points that I had last year. So Bob applied this year.
Special too.
Yeah. He went in with special. So it's the extra money.
Like
so you have
twice
more
as much
possibilities.
Money.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it was like $1,400 all said and done when he applied.
Wow.
And he didn't get it with 5 points. So apparently it's a 6-point tag now.
Wow.
So it's not, it is what it is. And it's kind of, I don't want to spoil the film for some of your listeners that we end up spotting an amazing bull on like day 2 or night 1. I think it was night 1. Yeah. And this thing is just like everything I've ever dreamed about. I've only killed one other bull in my life, and he's like a 260, 7-point, kind of a cool bull. And then I killed this cow on this Wyoming hunt. But on night 1, I spot this giant bull, just amazing looking bull. And then some turn of events kind of happens with that country and the lack of water, and we got pushed out of that area and went to an audible, and then some stuff went down.
Wait, you got pushed out? What do you mean you got pushed out?
So on like day 4, all of our water sources completely dried up.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
we
and
had
then
zero water. So we would have to,
that'll push you out.
I don't mean like zero, but there was one main river system that was down from our camp like 4.5 miles and 3,500 feet.
Yeah,
And to do, I mean, it's doable, but that is really tough going, and
Yeah, that's
especially
terrible.
it's awful. So we
That's
decided
terrible.
yeah, man. So we decided to pull out. I reached out to one of my buddies who's a Wyoming
And
resident, actually Jaden Bales. He's an awesome guy.
oh, I love
And
Jaden.
yeah, man. So I reached out to him via my Zolio,
He's awesome.
and he sent me a pin and was like, "Hey, dude, I was just in here deer hunting. There was bulls going nuts. Good luck over there. Have fun. Here's your location." And then so
It's good to
we
have
went in there.
friends.
Definitely, man. It definitely helps out. So we went in there the very next day, and on our first, like, as soon as we got to the timber too, because he's like, watch these north-facing slopes in the timber. There was bulls going nuts. We get into there. It's like a 3-mile hike into the trailhead, maybe like 2 from the trailhead. We start looking in the north-facing timber, and Bobby spots like 7 cows right away. I was like, well, he wasn't lying. Good dude, man. So we
Yeah,
sat there
that's
and
awesome.
looked at him and bugled in there and see if we can get a bull to reply. And we watched him for probably 4 hours, and nothing happened. And we pick up and we start leaving, and we were probably another mile away from them. And then you watch the film to see what happens. But
Yeah.
it was a really fun hunt, man.
What
Awesome adventure.
was everything okay at home? Like with the message you got?
Yeah, she had to get some emergency surgery and was just
Oh,
kind of
dang.
scared and
Yeah.
so and I get
That's
it. So
definitely understandable.
yeah, so I got 4 kids at home too. So I mean, shit happens. It was super unfortunate, and I try to swallow that pill. But like when you wait 5 years for a tag and you got such high expectations, and then we saw a giant bull. I
Yeah.
mean, just making this video, I had to punch myself in the face
Oh,
like
it's
80
the worst,
times.
dude. It's the worst.
Because I know what should have been, and
Yes.
even last year when me and Bob or me and Zach were on our high buck, which is just like 2 weeks, after modern deer, was just as like maybe 3 weeks after this hunt, and me and Zach are sitting up on the knob, and I was like, I shouldn't have killed that cow, and me and you could be in Wyoming right now chasing bulls.
Yeah.
And because like they have
Coulda, woulda,
multiple
shoulda.
seasons, like if you don't harvest in that season, you can go back later. So it's not just like a little window of time like Washington, where it's like you better kill or you're screwed, right? Like Wyoming it's like 3 months long. And we were up there glassing, and we were both just like kicking myself in the butt. But it was an amazing adventure. I put meat in the freezer, which is the ultimate goal there.
Yeah, dude.
And me and Bob, like you said, we had a ton of fun. Yeah, man, we had a ton of fun. We explored new country. Saw bucks, saw bears, saw bulls. I mean, we did it all, and it just I just didn't kill a bull, so I got a grudge match.
It's a great film, and like you said, meat in the freezer. I think it's great, man. Like,
thanks, man. I really appreciate it.
You had to get home to your family. That's real life, and you came home with something to eat. So
exactly, yeah. And
I love it.
The feedback on YouTube has just been like overwhelmingly positive too. And I thought for sure, I was like, okay, I'm not reading the comments on this one because moron shot cow, and I was like, but none of that actually. The one comment that I did see was just like, "Hey man, you got to be aggressive when you got a rifle in your hand and there's bulls screaming." But I replied back, and
that was me.
That was you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks. No, but I was thinking like, hey man, there's
no, but Zach, you weren't on this hunt, were you?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Were you doing something else?
What were you doing? Oh, you did Western art. You did archery that same dates. You were doing Western archery, weren't you? A muzzleloader for elk?
Wasn't I high buck?
Oh, you were in high buck. That's what it was. I knew you were doing something.
Yeah, I was doing high buck here in Washington.
Yeah,
yeah. That was our high buck turned bear film.
Yeah, that was also pretty freaking awesome film.
Yep.
I haven't seen that one yet, but I'll have to check it out. But yeah, it was good, man. I liked it.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
So what else? So Zach, you just dumped 18 points or something? I saw on Instagram.
18 points.
Wow. Yep. And how old are you?
I'm 36.
Okay, so like half your life.
Half my life worth of points.
Wow, dude.
Yeah. So
tell me about it.
In Washington, so for like elk in particular, which is what we're talking about, we have categories for like kind of the tags that you can apply for.
Yeah.
And so there's a quality bull tag, then there's just your regular bull category, and then you have antlerless and whatever. So like Jeff and I have both drawn our quality bull tags. So we've dumped those points. We're back to 4 and 5 points or whatever it is now. But when you have those different categories, you accrue points in every category. And so like once I dumped those quality points, my bowl category points still continued to climb over the last few years.
Interesting. Okay.
And so that's how I was able to have 18 points in this quality or in the bowl category, which is typically how they kind of divide those out, is like quality is your prime rut kind of tags.
Yeah.
Less people, less pressure. All
is
those
it archery hunt or rifle?
There's all of it.
There's all. So like there's
you can hunt the whole
hunts,
season.
there's archery hunts, and there's muzzleloader hunts.
Okay, but the one you're doing, what are you doing?
I'm doing archery. So like in Washington, we have to choose our weapon every year. So like we can't hunt rifle, archery, and muzzleloader just over the counter. And so like I went, and we have to choose a side of the state as well. It gets Washington makes it so tough.
It's so so many different rules in every single state. What a pain, but
so
what it is.
So I did West Side Archery as like my general tag, and then once you buy that, that's what allows you to then apply for West Side Archery special permits.
Okay, you probably just said this, but I always mix them up. Are you guys in Washington or Oregon?
Washington.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. So is it like one of the better elk units in the state or something, or what's the deal on it?
For the west side, it's going to be one of the better areas. So this particular area is a general unit that is closed to hunting completely unless you draw a special permit. So there's no over-the-counter general seasons in this unit. So that boosts these areas up quite a bit.
Yeah.
The tag that I drew is an archery bull tag from October 1st through the 7th. So like, you know, you
just post rut.
I mean, post. And like, and in Western Washington, it's gonna be rut. Like we have a little bit of a later rut. Like that's typically like our muzzleloader season where you still get quite a bit of rut action.
Yeah.
And so like, especially up in this area, I would expect these bulls to still be rutting. There's no real pressure up there. There's nothing going on.
Who goes in before us?
There's only 2 other tag holders before me. So there's one archery quality tag, like September 9th through the 15th.
Okay,
so like,
he's the first guy in.
He's the first guy, and there's only one of them.
Only one dude in the whole unit?
Wow. Only one dude in the unit. And then there's one rifle quality elk tag after him. So like September 20th through the 25th.
Oh, dude, that's
something
crazy
like that.
tag.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so like that's like your primo tag, you know. And then after that, there's 2 tags for my season. So it's me and one other guy.
Okay.
And that's it. And then after that, there's a muzzleloader tag, and then there's like a later rifle tag.
Interesting.
Those are later in October.
Very interesting.
So
yeah,
it's a lot. Like dumping 18 points on this unit it's interesting because like you're not going to get a big giant bull out of there. It's more you're looking for an experience of hopefully being in a bunch of elk.
Oh, dude, and just the fact
in a bunch of raghorns and stuff like that, and then
and
like
just the fact that there be the number of guys you can count on one hand in there, like all year, basically.
Yep.
And so like you know, it should be really cool. I've bear hunted up close to this area in the past. I've always glassed into it. I've seen elk. Like I know that there's elk in there, and like the country looks really cool for like Western Washington. Most people would think like rainforest, like super dense, super heavy brush and timber. Yeah, this is like a lot more open. Like it's super interesting country.
It is. I can't wait for the film because we're gonna crush this. It's
gonna be really cool.
It's gonna be a dead giveaway when the film comes out,
for sure.
But we'll say that after it when it's all done.
There's gonna be no.
Please tell me you guys are taking long lenses in there, not phone scoping it.
Yeah. We gotta do some camera stuff, especially for this, because it's gonna be
just rent some huge lenses. It's so cheap.
That's a good idea too. Yeah, just get some. Yeah, we could get some. I wish that there was like third-party options for the Canon mirrorless side, but there's not yet. So that's probably a good idea. We'll just rent the 1 to 500 for like the whole season.
Yeah, and a doubler, dude. Get a doubler.
Yep, 100%. Yep, a doubler, because you're gonna get some crazy cool footage of bulls. You know,
if it's open like that, and you're gonna want to get like that tasty. Like I mean, like your Wyoming, your dude was carrying the big boy lens.
Yes.
There's a little limb in the way, but like.
I know
that lens is like so good.
Yeah, and
It's
that
worth
was,
the
and
wait.
he didn't have a teleconverter on that. That was just
Oh, he
like
didn't?
just the lens and like in crop mode, and that was 540 yards.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's
That
just
thing's
a
almost like
600
a
mil.
spotter.
It is, man. It really is, and especially if you had a crop mode on. I mean, dude,
Yeah.
that would have been insane. Or especially, excuse me, a teleconverter. So that would have been, that was only at 600 in crop mode, so 1.4.
Yeah.
So I don't even know what that is, just math. But then you
Forget
throw
that.
a doubler
It's
on
long.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, throw a doubler on that. That's insane.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah,
Well,
540
anyway,
yards, and it looked good.
we digress into camera nerd stuff, but
Yes, digress.
Yeah.
But yeah,
no,
that
that's gonna be a cool hunt, man.
Yeah, man.
I'm really excited. Like I told Jeff and them earlier this year before all the permits and stuff. Like I just had like an itch to like archery hunt again. It just been a while since we've done anything like with a bow, and I was like, man, I like got a new Matthews last year, carried it in the woods for like 2 days, and I was like, okay, like
Nice, man.
I want to like
shooting
do
a
some
lot?
archery stuff. Not yet, but I will.
Yeah. Dude, so are all three you guys going in or what?
Yep.
Yeah.
We're all taking his whole season off. So we got a really awesome. We haven't even announced it yet on our own channel, but we got a really fun high buck hunt planned. That officially is, as of today, it's officially booked. So
Nice.
a super fun hunt there that's on the books for high buck. So we're out for September 15th to 25th.
In
And
Washington?
we'll come back. Yep. And then we'll do a week of work, and then right back into the elk woods for Zach. So super
How long's
exciting.
that
And
elk season? A week, you said? 7, 8
Yeah.
days?
Yeah,
7 days.
The 1st through the 7th.
Okay, cool.
So it's like a
those short
it's like a
seasons are
Sunday
interesting.
Sunday through Saturday, which is actually kind of nice because I can run up there Friday after work and get a whole day of scouting in ahead of time, and like we can just be set up and ready to go.
Hopefully find the other hunter too.
Yeah, well, he's already reached out to me.
Oh, he knows?
Yeah, so like I've
no kidding?
already been talking with him.
Oh,
so,
wow.
That's good.
He's hiding information from me.
I
Hunter.
sent it in the group text. You just ignore things.
Yeah,
We're fighting now, Hunter.
Yeah. I mean, there's only two of you. You might as well, like, you don't have to hunt together, but somehow kind of, coordinate.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be dumb not to.
Yeah, exactly. And so like
how did he know, by the way?
He saw it on PNWild.
No, but we didn't post the unit.
Well, there's only three
of them
with those dates.
Okay.
And then he just like reached out and he was like, hey, I drew this tag. Do you happen to be the other guy? And I was like, yep, I sure do. So
wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Cool dude, younger.
Yeah.
Gonna hammer.
Oh, he's from the Tri-Cities. So
okay, so he's got a. Why did he apply for that? Weird.
West Side. Oh,
yeah.
whatever.
Maybe he wants a Rocky, or excuse me, a
Did
Rosie.
you Instagram stalk him yet?
He doesn't have any posts on Instagram.
Oh,
he could be a silent
killer.
Yeah.
Yep. So I don't know. But I mean, I'm glad that he figured that out and reached out, and we can now coordinate some stuff. Because like I told him, I was like, I was hoping to run into you whether I was scouting or whatever, just so that we could kind of figure out where each
communicate with each other. Yeah, that's cool.
So
for sure.
So yeah, it'll be good. I'm super excited. It'll be fun for us to get back into the elk woods and like be able to bugle and chase bulls. I mean, that's how we started.
Yeah, that's how this whole thing started.
First hunts were
funny.
archery elk hunts.
I know,
so
that's funny because I know nothing about elk hunting basically.
Yeah, neither did we.
Yeah, we still really don't. Like it's just fun, man. It's totally different than what we're used to. We're kind of slow pace, getting on top of glass and knobs and glassing for bucks.
Yeah, it seems like if you kind of like especially if you're hunting with like muzzleloader. I mean, archery is a little different. I have a muzzleloader hunt coming up, but like I feel like I've been on enough hunts not for elk where I see elk, and I'm not saying elk hunting is easy. Don't get me wrong at all.
Yeah.
But I'm saying even if you don't like quote unquote know how to like you're not some master elk hunter that knows all the tactics and calling and stuff, you can still just put yourself in good positions and glass, and you're at least gonna see elk, and you might get some stalks. You know what I mean? I feel like.
I think so too, and I think
if you're in a good area.
Yeah, and with this country in particular, there's a lot of open stuff. So I think even if they're not being super vocal, like we'll be able to get to a lot of points and do a lot of glassing, and we'll turn them up. Like if it turns into a glassing hunt, like I'll be very comfortable with that, even if they're being quiet. Like
and I'm sure they'll be screaming.
I would think so. Everyone I've talked to that's like hunted that area in the past or like had a tag like in that general area is like they are not call shy at all just because they're not pressured. They're not hunted, in the general season. So they don't have a reason not to be like very receptive to a call.
Yep.
So
Nice.
I got pretty high hopes that we'll get in there and we'll pull some bulls in. And
Do you think like you guys might split off 2 and 1 to cover more area to glassing, like have a spotter or what?
Yeah, we'll see. Like we'll kind of let that,
especially if it's like
dictate.
getting rough and it's like, hey man, we got 3 days left. We got to find someone that's ready to play.
Yeah.
But it just really kind of goes. I mean, we'll just get out there and get a feel for it. But if we're on bulls like nonstop, then we'll probably stick together. But with this certain unit, we could definitely space out, 2 or 3 miles apart and kind of glass into different,
or even just like different,
communicate.
Yeah, like a mile or so, even. Like, you can still see different stuff or less.
Exactly.
Split up a little bit, like go look on the other side of that.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure we'll be doing that kind of stuff as long as like we're not, nonstop action. I'm sure we'll split up because there's
sorry to cut
pretty
you off,
good.
man.
No, you're good. There's just a pretty good some good trail systems in there that utilize the unit, so we can kind of squirt around quickly. Yeah. And I think that'll help out a lot too.
So are you going to be able to go early at all and scout, or you guys have like a spot and you're just kind of bombing in?
So I actually was planning on going and setting cameras this weekend, but I called the ranger station yesterday and the road up to the unit is still snowed in. So I can't even get there yet. So
bear season.
Yeah, so they're expecting another like 2 weeks before it'll be cleared and ready to go. So as soon as it's cleared and ready, like I can get there from my house in like 2.5 hours.
That's so nice, man.
So like I'll be able to, like, if I get off work early one day or something, like I could bomb up there and like there's a road all the way to the top of the unit and I could sit on the road and just glass, for the evening, or like run down into the basin,
that's
a
huge.
mile and set a camera or whatever, so
that's huge.
And the unit is small enough that I think we can literally cover most of it in trail cameras in like a weekend.
Oh, nice.
So,
and that's what you were saying earlier about getting up high, even like on the road system. That's so crucial because I feel like I'm learning so much about this, hunting this style. It's also new, but like if you can start really wide like that in a new area and just because I think this bear hunt I just went on, instead of kind of doing that, I sort of just like picked a spot on an Onyx and just like went in. And I don't know. If it's good, it's good. But I've gotten advice from somebody recently that was like, start really wide and just kind of work in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's crucial to be able to have that.
Yeah. I think there's like a good balancing point with that because we've had it the other way where we go too wide. And then you just spend all your time bouncing from spot to spot to spot to spot because you're like, well, I have a pin over here. I want to check that. And then I have a pin over here. I want to check that. And like,
then
you waste a bunch of time. So it's like you have to find that middle ground of being like,
Very true.
I found this and this looks good. So I'm at least going to go spend a day or two in here.
Yeah. We've had commitment issues in the past.
Yeah. We have.
We have so many spots now where it's especially in deer season where you can go so many different areas and we've killed so many deer in different areas. It's like, well, I wonder how that spot is.
Yeah.
Like, never mind, just stay here. We're seeing deer. That buck's going to turn up. So there's that kind of thing. And his unit that he drew, there's not going to be a ton of that. It's going to be, I mean, it's not the biggest unit, but it's not tiny. It's a lot of space to cover and lots of country to
How big
cover,
is it? Do you know?
I don't know, but square footage. I don't know if Washington offers that kind of information.
I don't know. I'm sure
probably
we could
on
on Go Hunt or something.
Yeah, we could find it
Probably
on like
on
the
Go
Go Hunt unit profile or whatever, and it would at least give us a ballpark. But there's at least like off the top of my head, there's like 1, 2, 3. There's like 5 or 6 like good sized drainages. So nice. Like they're nothing huge, but there's at least like good ridge systems, good drainages.
Yeah,
and then like the whole upper end it's gonna look more alpine-y stuff, but it's not true alpine. It's really interesting. And then like the lower country, it starts at like 5,000 feet and drops down to like 2,000 feet at the river bottom. And so like we can get down into the river bottoms down there too, into like that bigger heavy timber that's down low, and if they're not up high, we can go down into the timber after them. So it'll be interesting.
I'm really excited to get in there and hunt that.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it's gonna be
a little scary.
Why scary? Is the pressure of it or what?
No,
other reasons.
Yeah.
What you can't?
We'll tell you off air.
Okay. Gotcha.
I'll text it to you, and you can laugh with us.
Yeah,
that sounds good. I like that option better. Okay. Well, it sounds like it'll be an adventure either way. And
Yeah,
those
it's gonna
short
be good.
seasons, like my season or my tag, my elk tag only has a 5-day season. It's interesting. It's kind of nice, actually. That is funny.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Legit, huh? Is
Yeah.
that? I want to ask a follow-up question, but it's okay. I'll do it later.
As soon as the trailer comes out, I mean, everyone's gonna know and laugh with us. But
Yeah.
it's a really, really cool.
It's a unique area,
Yeah.
especially for like Western Washington. It's unique
Very.
country.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Yeah.
So
That's really
And it's
cool,
gonna
man.
it's gonna be zero surprise. We're not gonna be able to hide it at all. But just
Yeah.
until the hunt happens, we want to keep it kind of on the down low, just for shits.
Okay.
Keep
Well,
it
man,
down
I
low,
can't wait to
get
see
extra
that. That's
pressure.
gonna be epic.
It's gonna
Yeah.
be epic for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's gonna be some really, really cool footage and stuff
That is-
like that. And maybe
I just got your other
maybe
text.
yeah, exactly. And that's what I want to kind of weave into the film just a little bit, maybe,
Yeah.
just like kind of that part or that aspect of this particular unit. Because it's
man.
like Zach said, it's gonna be pretty special.
yeah.
Well,
I mean,
we'll have to do another
18 years, so I mean, might as well.
We'll have to do another podcast after elk season and compare
Yeah.
stories
Yes.
again.
Yeah.
and
Yes.
Talk through
Yeah,
it. 'Cause that sounds awesome.
When is your tag?
Mine is October 14th through 18th.
Okay.
Oh wow, you got 5 hunting days.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's a muzzleloader.
And that's with a muzzy. And that's
Muzzleloader.
that was Arizona, right? Or New Mexico.
New Mexico.
Okay.
It's like crazy.
Is that still
dude.
rut for them?
It's
Or no.
I've heard some people saying like they'll still could be bugling, kind of just like, it just depends, but
Kind of post rut.
yeah, it's
activity.
post rut for sure, but
Okay.
because
I don't know anything about desert. I don't wonder if that changes because I know
Well,
like the
it's-
mule deer rut is way different in the desert
Yeah.
than it is up here for us.
But it's it's mainly like alpine kind of country. It's not.
oh wow.
It's like high desert. I guess it's not like when you think desert, you think like shrubs and cactus. But this
Yeah.
is so high, it's not really that deserty. I mean, it is in some. As you go down lower in elevation, but it's gonna be cool, man. I'm looking forward to that. I've been shooting my muzzleloader. I know you. I
Nice,
listened to
dude.
y'all's podcast. Who'd you do it with? Somebody about muzzleloading.
Yeah.
What's that
Oh
guy's name?
gosh, I forget his name off the top of my head, but he is just an awesome and super knowledgeable about muzzle loaders.
Yeah, and they
John
went to
McAdams.
John
Okay, yeah.
McAdams.
I think that's
sounds
him,
right.
John McAdams.
and they went to no scopes this year in New Mexico. So
Oh,
I was just gonna
gosh.
ask what the like
Yeah.
Limitations
muzzleloader
were, yeah.
regulations
Yeah.
are down there.
So I've been going to the range once a week for about 3 weeks now. I'm gonna just keep going all summer
Nice,
Mhm.
dude.
and just I got one of these like the peep sights with like it's like a Williams Precision Western.
Like a front globe.
Yeah,
Like a front globe sight. Yeah, dude.
it's pretty legit.
Yeah, it is. It's really nice. What is your like? What do you want to be your effective range? Like 150, 100, or do
Yeah.
you think you could shoot the 2?
I'm kind of limited right now as far as the range. The only place that's in driving distance from my house is only a 100-yard range. So
Okay.
I'm just working really. I just want to get like super solid at 100 and get it like dialed in and just feeling good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna go out to my buddy's place in probably a week or two and try to stretch it out to 2. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know yet where my range would be. I would love to be able to shoot to 2, but I don't know if that's realistic or not.
Mhm.
I don't
What
know. I feel like
muzzy do you have?
a big elk. I don't know. We'll see. I gotta test it out. But I would think I kind of think 150 would be very doable with some practice.
Yeah.
I
Do you
think
know what
so.
muzzleloader you have?
I get a CVA Acura LRX.
Okay.
Got it.
I have the Acura as well,
I'll show you.
but mine's not the LR.
Is that long range extreme?
Oh yeah, long range extreme. Yeah, mine's just like the standard Acura.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a pretty looking muzzy, dude.
Yeah, super similar to mine. Yep.
Yeah, it's a nice gun, man. It's got a Bergara barrel. Bergara
Yep.
barrel.
Nice.
And
Yep.
pretty easy to clean. Got the peep sight on there. So if you guys are listening, you can look online or on YouTube if you want to see it.
Yeah,
but,
that's a beauty, dude.
I honestly kind of like the actually I really like the simplicity of it. Like I'm not dealing with the optic and all that and like super,
Yep.
how far can I
Yeah.
stretch it, like
Yeah.
it's kind of like limiting me, which is I kind of like it in a way.
I really liked I've done muzzleloader elk season a couple years in a row now here, and I really like carrying the muzzleloader. I did a muzzleloader late whitetail hunt as well a couple years ago and killed a
Mhm.
whitetail with it, and yeah, there was something cool about just like how straightforward and like simple a muzzleloader is. It's like you got one shot, really.
Yeah.
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 And it's just like make it count, and
yeah.
It's just cool, like carrying something around that, like you said, like doesn't have a scope. You're not worried about bumping anything. It's just like keep it clean and don't.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
don't
almost
let it
like more
get wet.
like being a
Go
kid.
for it.
Like you gotta sneak.
Jeff
in kinda
couldn't be
close.
more bored. Jeff's like, oh, I can't dial a turret. I'm out.
I'm thinking about the giant bull that I messed up on.
Yeah, that too.
Oh man. Yeah, that's I guess that's the classic muzzleloader stuff though. You never know.
It is.
But then, so listen to this. So then that season ends on the 18th. Then I'm driving straight from New Mexico to Montana. I have a general elk tag in Montana.
Dang, hell yeah.
Right after.
Nice.
That's awesome. Hopefully you got 2 giant racks coming out of your truck on your way home.
Yeah.
I'll be happy if I have one, but that would be insane, wouldn't it?
That'll be wild, yeah.
Wouldn't that be wild?
Yes.
That would be awesome. We could have been doing that this year with mule deer, but Jeff and Bob were babies.
Running out of time now, especially with your elk hunt that you drew. We would have been in trouble as far as vacation time.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
we drew a Colorado 3rd season mule deer tag, and then we were surprised by drawing Montana deer a 2nd year in a row.
Yes.
And so we weren't planning on that. We were planning on the Colorado hunt. Then we had both, and we decided like, hey, we would rather go back to Montana than go to Colorado. So we turned that back in and got our points restored.
So. Did y'all put your Montana deer hunt out yet?
Nope.
No, it's not out yet.
Oh, dude, I want to see it. I've seen the pictures, but
yes, yeah.
Put it out, son.
It's up next. It's up next because that one's gonna take a little longer. Yeah. Like I smashed the turkey out this weekend, and it turned out really really fun. But just turkey hunting, for whatever reason over here on the West Coast doesn't get the traction that it does on the east side, like in the eastern side of the U.S. Like their turkey hunting videos, and I mean they go wild. Like there's 100,000 view turkey hunts.
Oh yeah.
But for whatever over here, like we can't get it. And even like our neighbor over here, Samong Yang, that we do it with. I mean he's got 70,000 subs on YouTube, and his turkey videos are by far the worst. They get like 5,000 to 10,000 views. Where
it's just different. Like in the east we have turkeys and whitetails, and that's it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like there's no bugling elk around in the springtime. It's turkey.
So is YouTube geographical? Like
I'm sure
geographical.
I'm sure there's the algorithm has something to do with
why
that.
isn't our stuff getting recommended to those East Coast stuff? Because they're like really fun hunts, like adventure style, where
I think it's because
people want to see how they hunt. They want to see a guy doing how they hunt.
They can't relate to hiking 20 miles for a turkey.
Yeah,
they can relate.
I can't even relate to that.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
And so I think that's what it is.
So next year we got to go knock on doors and sit in a field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
In like Florida,
and have like the decoy out there that the tom comes up and like
fights with.
And goes all crazy.
Yeah, that's cool footage.
It is for sure.
How boring is it to sit in one of those blinds for 10 hours?
Thank you. You don't sit that long for the eastern turkeys, though. I mean,
oh, that's right. You probably go in for the morning, then you go back and drink your beer all day long, and then you go back.
I mean,
go back at night.
There's hills around here too. But you kind of like go set up in a spot, at least how I do it, and just kind of like call a little bit and wait, and then if it's not happening, kind of move around a little bit. I don't like sitting too long, but you do sit a little bit.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind it, but 10 hours or whatever that is, like what I would imagine would just be sitting in a blind or something. Like no thanks.
Yeah,
but I guess
that's more like whitetail hunting.
Yeah.
Nope. See, I could maybe do it for whitetails.
That's what I grew up on, man. It's,
I grew up hunting whitetails in Washington, but it's all, brush busting kind of thing. Like
you're not in a tree stand, or you are?
No tree stands.
Okay, see,
nothing. And it was rifle hunting, so like we're hunting like big timber draws with. So
you're walking through and still hunting and like looking for deer.
Yep,
that's pretty cool. I mean, how I grew up hunting was sitting, and I will say it does get very boring. But when that deer comes out like in bow range and is like looking you in the eye, dude, talk about an adrenaline dump, dude. It is insane.
Yeah, that part would be really cool.
Yeah.
It's
where are you
even
at
if like
Hunter?
A doe walks out, like you just like.
What state are you in, Hunter?
I'm in Virginia.
Virginia.
That's where my dad's at.
Oh really?
Oh really?
Yeah.
Where?
Yeah. Blackstone.
That's kind of close to where I used to live, southeastern Virginia, I believe. But I grew up hunting on the eastern shore of Virginia. It's like this little peninsula on the other side of the Chesapeake Bay. Nah, they're regular whitetail. They did sometimes go on the beach, though. I many times have seen a whitetail walking down a saltwater beach on Chesapeake Bay. pretty amazing.
Wow. Our
That's
blacktails
pretty
do that here, though. Like
Yeah.
Ocean Shores, they're always on the beach.
Oh yeah, all the time.
That's
Yeah.
wild.
It is.
Even the elk do that, like down in like Astoria and stuff. Like,
Oh, yeah.
they'll be out swimming in the surf.
That's nuts.
That's
crazy.
wild.
I wonder
So
if they
were
found seaweed yet.
Oh, I'm sure they're nibbling
Oh, my
seaweed.
God. It's so salty.
Let's get some sushi tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Dude, so were you guys together on the bear hunt this year?
No, we were just a weekend apart. So I went
okay.
first, went for 5 days with our new partner, Aero Precision, the rifle manufacturer. Went with them. And by them, it was just one of their guys, one of their main like sales marketing VPs. And then another buddy of ours that lives up here. And then Zach just went the next weekend we went down there 5 days too, right?
Yeah, I went for Memorial Day and I just like made it a long weekend, like took off Thursday something.
And Friday and to Tuesday.
Yep. And then was just over there for those like 4 or 5 days.
So together we got like 11 hunt days or at least 10 days in the woods together combined. But yeah,
nothing to show for it.
It was rough. We both saw lots of bears.
I saw 2. I wouldn't call that a lot.
Okay. Yeah.
I saw 1 sow and 1 cub, bro, in like 8 days.
Yeah. It's rough, dude. We saw nothing, and then we saw 2 all the way on the other side of the river, literally probably 800 yards apart in 2 different little drainages.
Huh.
We relocated all the way over there that night and then never turned them up again. That's just it. That was it. That was all. Super fun.
We didn't even get that. I mean, we might have had a similar story, but all we saw was a sow and a cub, so of course we didn't go after it. But it was the same thing. I mean, they were way off on the other side of the river, like far. It would have been a nightmare to get over there anyway. But really rough season, man. Like deep snow. I almost drowned in a pack raft.
Oh no! Like legitimately or no?
No, I'm being dramatic, but
okay.
I did. Okay, there was this crossing we had to do, and looking back, I probably shouldn't have even done it, honestly, but it was like about 9 foot wide trail, and either side was like willows so thick, you can't even see through them. You know what I'm talking about? You've been through that?
Mm-hmm.
And so you had to hit this thing like perfectly on the trail, and I just drastically underestimated the speed of the current, and just like it hit me and it went like straight down.
Oh,
and I had to kind of like get to the side and like grab onto the willows, and then at one point water was coming over the side because
you're stopped and you're sitting there. Yeah.
So I righted it, and then I sat there for a second trying to figure out like, okay, what the heck do I do? Because it was so thick I didn't think I'd be able to walk through it. And so I'm just like, what do I do? So I sat there for a second. I was like, screw it, I just got to get out. So I just like got out and just pushed my way through those willows. I broke my microphone on my camera. And but it was sketch. And then it was so sketch, Luke, like I could see in his eyes he didn't want to do it. And I was like, man, if you don't want to do it, I do not blame you. It was sketch. Like, I will not think one less of you. Like, I shouldn't have even probably done it. He's like, I don't think it's worth it, man. So I was like, yeah, I don't either. Because that was one of 3 streams like that we would have had to cross to get where we were trying to go. And I was like, the thought of doing that 6 more times and then maybe doing it with a bear and then maybe this gets worse over the next couple of days.
Exactly.
And you got to come back out. So I was like, let's just go somewhere else. So I went back across and we went somewhere else. So anyway.
So you did it for nothing.
I did it for nothing. Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, that's the real stuff, man. Yeah, and especially that time of year when we were over there, every single creek is just like dangerously raging.
Well, especially this year, man. Like this year is worse because it was like record snowfall and then boom, it's 80 degrees. So we're like walking around in 80-degree weather, like post-holing in deep, like knee-deep snow.
It was like 90 when Jeff was over there.
Oh, it was crazy hot.
The next weekend I went, I got rained on. I was stuck in a tent for 10 hours.
Yeah.
Just sitting in through rainstorms.
I was there like May 20th, and it was like Zach said, miserably, like 97 degrees, crazy hot. And then the next weekend, Zach's getting rained on in 70.
Yeah,
I feel like just from stuff I've been seeing on social media and stuff, I think with the amount of snowfall this year, I think that a lot of bears slept a lot longer.
That could have been, dude.
Could be. Yeah,
I've seen a lot more people killing bears like into June, and not as many in like mid-April. And some of my other friends that are like way better bear hunters than I were even in some of the same areas I was, and like weren't killing like after a while, So I don't know.
Wow. We talked to after posting our stuff on Instagram, a follower just reached out and was like, "Hey, I hunted that exact spot." And we get that a lot. And I was like, "Okay, yeah, sure." And then he sent me the picture to prove it, and I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah. How'd you do?" And they went 3 for 3 on that ridge the weekend before.
Oh, jeez.
So it's just maybe we were too late, maybe we were too early.
They just killed the bears out of there.
And that's really what happened, man. Like, and sometimes that happens, and we saw boot prints, and we saw someone's like shelter, like remnants, and then like a wood stove, like there was like a burn mark on the ground. You could tell there was a wood stove there. And then we saw a bunch of boot prints and stuff, and then sure enough, he sent all the pictures to prove it too. So they went in there and hammered, man, and it was a really cool spot. Like we ended up seeing 4 bears. One was a lone bear, and then one was a sow with 2 cubs. So a total of 4 bears. But a super berry area, like that is for sure. Like it's gonna hold a lot of bears. And then the 2 bears that Zach saw were in that same drainage, or like one basin over, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
pretty close.
Yeah, but same side of the creek, same side of the river. So it definitely holds bears. And then we ran into a couple guys on the road. We were kind of hanging out at camp doing dinner or something like that, and they drove by. We kind of BS with those guys. Super nice guys from Utah, and they ended up chasing 2 bears that night. So there was definitely bears out. They were just playing hardball. We sat in the same glassing knob for 3 out of the 5 nights, and only saw those bears one time, and it was the very first night we were there. And then after that, it just kind of shut off, and all that was out was just elk and deer. We were seeing elk and deer everywhere.
Same. We were seeing elk and
deer. The
bears
just never came back out.
I think what we kind of like have deduced from like being over there as many times as we have now is like this particular area, I think, is better served going earlier because by the time we get there in May, literally everything is bright green.
Yeah.
Like they could be anywhere. Like they're not pigeonholed to like these little
pockets,
spots that are greened up.
Exactly it's like the same as the spot we were in.
Yeah. Underneath the timber, like in the thicker timber, it's all green grass. It's so like they don't need to come out into those open faces anymore.
Yep.
And so I think like what we've talked about is like if we were going to go back, we're going back early and we're going to try and target like lower and just find those little tiny pockets that are
well, that's the same thing. And like with me is the area I was in that I e-scouted was really, really good. And that's where we saw the sow and cub. It was such good looking bear country. But same thing. It was like 80 degrees, no moisture. There's no water up high. It just felt like it was too late for that spot. It was pretty low. And then it was like there was no middle ground. Like it would be like summer and 80 and everything green, and you go up and then you can't walk because you're literally like going through like thigh deep snow.
Yeah,
there was like no in between. So
it's a weird year. That's for sure.
It is. Our buddy Josh Kirchner went down. He goes like mid-April, right, or late April?
Late April.
Oh, dude, I love Josh.
Yeah, and he ended up killing.
I talked to him when I was out there, like I was like throwing a Hail Mary, like, dude, where are the bears?
Yeah. And
but he's put his time and effort.
Taking him like 3 or 4 seasons to get it dialed in
to figure that area out and stuff. So
like Zach and I and Jacob.
Do y'all hunt the same area as Josh over there? Okay.
Yeah, and we've hunted there since 2021 was the first year we've been over. So 21, 22, and 23, 3 years, and we still haven't harvested anything, but we're seeing them, and it's like, and Zach's been seeing them every year. He's been over more than I have.
Yep.
And just still trying to get your finger on the pulse, man. It's tough.
And spring is just so different because they're moving constantly.
Yep.
Like for us in the fall, we can spot a bear out feeding and it'll be there for 6 hours.
Oh yeah.
Like
wow.
They won't move.
No.
They might go into like a little patch of timber, but then they're going to come right back out.
Oh yeah, they found a food source.
You guys got to take me bear hunting.
Oh, come on.
You pick a day in August, and we're gonna be there, and you can just tag along.
Yeah.
August, I don't know if I could do August this year. Maybe next year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get it on the books. Let's figure something out because like it's
I haven't
so
killed
fun
a bear yet,
dude. Yeah.
Oh,
let's do it.
We killed 11 last year,
dude. That's what I'm saying. You guys got the fall bear dialed out there, man. I want to go hunt with you guys out there.
It's cheating, man.
Yeah, we have some good spots that are just proven producers for fall bears.
Yeah. When does it open? Like early August?
August 1st.
Oh man, dude.
Yeah. Go ahead,
doable.
Take a look. We'll be out there.
Yeah.
Let's see, calendar.
It's fun, man. You could fly right into like Bellingham or SeaTac, and Zach could pick you up. And I mean, you guys could work out a West Side hunt.
I couldn't do it this year because I'm literally having a baby at the end of July.
Oh yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, and then I'm leaving a month later for like Alaska for like 2 weeks.
Oh, well, that doesn't suck.
God bless your wife. Yeah. God bless your wife.
Oh my gosh, I know.
And
dude,
congratulations.
and
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, it's getting real, man. She's getting very large and uncomfortable.
Yep.
And
She's got a month
you guys
out.
both.
Yeah, I bet you.
I know Jeff. You got kids. Zach, do you have kids?
Nope.
Nope, not yet. Okay.
No.
It's a different endeavor.
Definitely, man. Yep. And that's a tough for you to be able to turn around a couple weeks later and go on a hunt. Yeah, your wife's definitely cool.
I know.
That's
We talked
awesome.
about it before. I was like, "What's the cutoff? Like,
What are my limitations here for
Well,
this
I got
season, babe?
I got a plan, and
Definitely.
so she's
Yeah.
like, if it's a month, you can go, and so she's definitely being cool about it. But
That's
That's
awesome.
That's rad,
and it's bittersweet because it's not like I'm like stoked about leaving my newborn child either.
For
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
But we're men. That's what we do. We leave and
Yeah.
we go hunt and we come back.
Yes. That's right.
I think
is,
Jeff's
man.
crying.
Yes. Yes.
That's true,
Yeah.
man. That's in our DNA, man. It's in our blood.
It totally is, and I've been in your shoes multiple times. Zach's quality deer hunt was like 2.5 weeks after my son was born, and I was like, all right, I'm going hunting with Zach for 10 days. It wasn't even my day, and he was like 3 weeks old. So yeah, definitely been there, man, and
Yeah.
definitely having the supporting wife is a must for those kind of stuffs. And yeah,
Sure.
we gotta just
It
we
takes
gotta,
some long conversations sometimes too, and some sweet talking. But
yes, it does. Yes, it
And
does.
Jeff
You
does a
gotta take your
lot
lumps.
of work around the house this time of year.
me
Lots of
too,
family
man.
Camping,
Yep.
lots of yard work, the honey-do list. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
And then August, it's like, shut that honey-do list off.
I'm gone.
July 31st at midnight, we have like play a song on the violin.
Dude.
You're done for the year.
Yeah.
She just salutes you and says goodbye.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
come back to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
we'll
is
do
rough.
in December.
It's so funny.
do you guys inReach message a lot? Like, how old's your oldest kid?
10. I got 10, and then
Okay.
the youngest is going to be 3 just next month.
So I feel like it's almost harder when they're at that like 8 to 10 range where
It
they
really-
really
like my
love you
son-
and they're really
Yes.
attached to you. Like I like legit miss my son when I'm out there because like we are so close, you know.
Yeah. It's
So
definitely
it's-
getting tougher as they're getting older. And
Yeah.
like
when they're babies,
I
it's
think it
like
was-
blah, you know.
yeah, just like a little alien thing to this, like, it's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
like-
okay, I gotta go for a week.
It's a blobby creature.
Yeah, and then
But when they get older, it's like hard, man.
oh, and
Yeah.
it definitely tugs on you. Well, a couple years ago, we were going to Colorado, and my daughter
Oh,
was
yeah.
literally chasing the truck, crying.
Oh,
And then she
dude.
was like, "Kill a big one, Dad!" And
Yeah.
Zach was driving. He's like, "Don't look at her." Eye contact. And I was like, "I can't." It's like, yeah, that
That's
gets
hilarious.
tough, man.
Yeah,
That's
that
terrible, but hilarious.
That was funny.
Yeah, and then like my son is just like super quiet about it, and like he starts crying. He's just like, "Bye, Dad," and then he'll start crying. He'd be like, "Shoot a big one." Just like
Aw.
the spring bear hunt. Like my wife met me because I left straight from work, but I'm not allowed to bring like weapons on the company property, and I don't want to risk it getting caught with them, so I don't bring them onto the property, and I'll just have like I'll run home and grab it. Or since it's the wrong direction, I'll just have my wife meet me and show the kids. Like, we try to make like the goodbyes like not a big thing, and I'll just try
Yeah,
to sneak out or like
that's-
right after work, and because I
Yeah.
don't want to do that to them. I don't want to like, all right, I'm leaving for 10
Yeah,
days.
it makes it worse. It makes it
Yeah,
worse.
just a
I
smooth exit.
Yeah.
Try to like low key kiss them on the forehead when they're sleeping, and I'm out for 10 days.
Yeah.
But when they're awake and they get to see it, then it's hard on my wife because she's dealing with that, and then it's just kind of hard to continue on with the normal day to day.
yeah.
But so
What-
he got to see me leaving, and then he's like, "Where are you
That's-
going?" He's like, "Oh, I'm going hunting, buddy. I'll be back in like 6 days." And then he just like I want to
Ugh.
go with you. And I was like, "Oh man, this sucks."
Yeah,
It's
that does
definitely
suck.
tougher when they get older.
It
Definitely.
is. I like what the best thing though for my son is just like 4 days out or like even longer, like a week or two. I'll just start
Yeah.
planting it. Hey, I'm going for 10 days, but I'll be back.
Yeah.
Just like real
Yeah.
calmly, like drop it in here and there. And then, like you said, yeah, don't make a big production of it when you leave. Just kind of, all right, buddy, I'll see you when I get back. Love you. And boom,
Yeah.
Mhm.
you know?
I actually got that advice on a Meat Eater podcast with Steve Ranella and his wife. Like they had all the wives on it.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think it was like 2 years ago or something. But the wife is the one that made it like the point to say like you can't make it a big deal.
Yeah.
And like even when you get back, you can't do like a celebration to go get ice cream or anything. Like it has
Yeah,
to just
yeah,
be
yeah.
like normal. And Steve's gone more than probably all of us combined. But like when he does like a big trip to Alaska or something like that, like, hey, I'm not going to see you guys for a couple weeks. Like let's go out to dinner and do pizza and ice cream. And like she said, like no, that makes it way worse. Like you just kind of like disappear, like, hey, I'm going to work, and then like, hey, normal day today, and then you're just not back for 10 days or 20 days or whatever it might be. Once you do like so I kind of took that advice a little bit, and it does make it easier. Like I totally see it, where it even messes with like the wife's home front for that whole day. Like kids are crying, and they're like, rather than just like thinking it's a regular work day, or maybe he's gone for the weekend. It's just like, hey, where's Dad on day 4? And you're like, hey, where is that guy? Rather than just like, hey guys, I'm leaving. Gather around. Everyone, give me your hugs.
Yeah.
Tell me how much you love me.
I don't completely just like blindside him. Like I'm just gone one day, but I don't like make a huge production about it either. So I think
it's an interesting take. Like that was what the Steve's wife was saying, was just like kind of like secretly just you're out for 10 days. And I did that all of last year, where I didn't really like make it a big deal.
Full on, they had no idea you were leaving for multiple days. You just left and weren't there for days.
Yep.
Wow. It worked?
Oh,
My son would freak out if I did that. He would freak out.
I'll talk to him like when we get service or something, and I'll FaceTime when we have service or get time, and then kind of just like interrupts their day, where I'll call them and just like, hey, and they get to see me, and they're like, hey, I'll be back in like 3 days, like 3 more sleeps, I'll be home. And then it's like, okay, sweet, we're playing in the sprinkler, bye Dad. Like, anymore, right? You just make this some big dramatic like, hey, I'm going to be gone. Like, I don't know, for my family,
it may never come back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, my plane might crash, you never know. Like, please hug me. I think like just for what we're doing, like that kind of just like kind of sneaking out, I'll call you, a couple days and FaceTime when I can, or like that just kind of seems to be working for us. But if what you got going works, man, like stick with it.
Yeah,
don't change.
And then I don't know if you found this, but I find like I almost like don't. This might sound bad, but like I don't really want. It's almost like when you leave, you kind of want to just not FaceTime or like talk on the phone or whatever.
I get it, dude.
I just want to like be like, okay, I'm gone now. It always makes it harder for me to like see them over a screen and they see me, but I'm not there. Like I'd rather just be like kind of disconnected.
Exactly. And then
I'm in hunt mode now. I'm not like Dad right now. I'm like a killer.
Totally. And I do it for like the wife and a touch in with the kids, but I've like, yes, I totally get what you're saying, and I totally understand it, because then you see them, especially my son lately too, when you see him on the FaceTime when they're starting to cry, because like, hey, like, I miss you, Dad, like, why do we do this?
Exactly.
So I totally know what you're saying, and that's just that balance where maybe you call when you're on your way home type thing, like, hey, I'm on the way home, we'll see you tonight. So it's not a crying thing. It's like, hey, I'm not gonna be 8 more days, bud. I don't know, man. It's just like,
one time, my wife on this last trip, my wife brought the kids to the airport. Didn't tell them, like, she's like, we're just going on a ride. I got them in the car. They had no idea, and like they just get out, and like I'm walking towards the car, and it freaked them out. Like they were like, what's going on?
That's awesome.
Anyway, we went down a huge fatherhood rabbit hole. I don't want to bore.
No, that's good, man. We actually get a lot of questions about this too.
About like how do you deal with the time and stuff like that. We get a lot of questions like that.
We definitely do. Like Instagram or emails is like, hey, how do you manage the time with the wives and the families and all that stuff? So that was a good little rabbit hole.
Well, plus you guys are putting together films and you have full-time jobs and podcasting and stuff. So that's a lot of stuff.
That's kind of the main question. How do you do all this shit? And it's like, well, we don't go to the beach ever.
You don't take vacations.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's kind of all that. All hunting.
Jeff sneaks out and does a lot of his editing, like after they go to bed, and you know, like sneaking it in when and where he can. I mean, that's just kind of
that's hard
the name
too,
of the
because after the kids go to bed, that's kind of like if I go and work at that time, then that eventually makes my wife mad because she's kind of like, that's our only time to hang out,
exactly,
without the kids. So
Jeff,
it's like,
you heard this one
literally,
before?
The only option is like wake your butt up at like 5 a.m. or something and just like edit.
Yeah,
like, but we're already at work at 5 a.m.
Exactly, I'm already at work.
Okay, well, that sucks.
Are you full time now, Hunter?
Yeah, I'm doing this full time right now with the show and and the podcast and stuff. I wouldn't have time to do it if I was working. I couldn't. Like this is probably more than a full time job.
Oh, 100%, dude. Yeah, 100%. That's awesome.
10 episodes coming out.
Congratulations.
Oh, thanks, dude. Yeah, it's a lot. But actually, the show is launching next week on Monday.
Nice,
it's the first time it's going to run, and then Saturday at noon, it's on Sportsman Channel, and then Monday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. And I'm gonna have a little shindig at my house for the Saturday airing, just because first ever.
That's super cool.
That's very cool. Yeah. Which episode is, or are you not allowed to say?
No, it's cool. I'll say it's my Wyoming antelope hunt that I did this year.
Oh, cool.
It's actually this buck right here. Ugh. He's not like amazing or anything, but he's in like
He's
No,
full and
super
wide.
cool. He's wide, yeah.
dude. So wide. That's what I saw when he's coming at me. He's just like he's just super wide, and he was like aggressive, like he was trying to come after us. He saw us, and we dropped down this wash, and he like ran up, like what's that? Because they were still rutting out there, and like
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
I
dude.
actually watched him breed a doe right before, and then I snuck out after him.
What a better way to go.
Yeah.
And dude, listen to
Hey,
this.
man.
Yeah, exactly. And then
Spread your seed, blouch.
exactly, dude. And then as literally when I walked up on this buck, I'm about to dress him, and this is in the film or in the episode. I look up, there's 2 bucks fighting, like going at it for like
That's
5
super
minutes straight.
cool.
That's
Yeah.
cool. How
It
many
was
points did
awesome.
you end up dumping for that guy?
You want to know the cool thing about it?
Yeah.
It's a 0.100% draw unit.
Nice. I think our unit, we did Wyoming 2 different years back to back.
Yep.
And it was a 2-point unit, right?
Yeah, I think 2020, and then you went in 2021,
Yeah.
and it
It's
was
like-
a 2-point unit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now it's like a 4-point unit because we looked at it this year.
Oh yeah,
and Point Creek got that unit. So
It's
Yeah.
crazy, dude. You can have
Good
some
thing
really
we didn't
good.
apply for that though,
I
because your
know.
ELK tag.
I know.
We would have been like too many tags, like legitimately.
Yeah.
That's a good problem to have, but it
Yeah.
happens.
Sorry to cut you off, Hunter. Go ahead.
No. I was just saying you can get on some great hunts out there in Wyoming for like very few points. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
there's
definitely.
tons of. The thing is, like that was like amazing habitat. Is just like trying to find the little
The
chunks
public.
of public, which
Yep,
is not
yep.
a lot.
Yep.
Yep. Agreed.
Yep. That's the challenge, but it's
Are you
fun.
guys hunting antelope anytime soon?
We were gonna do it this year. My wife has the same amount of points as all 3 of us, and or me and Zach at least. And then we were talking about just kind of all 3 going down and just getting out of the way and doing like a big group hunt. And
That'd be fun.
but we opted not to because of the winter that they had. And we've heard a lot of
Yeah.
horror about the winter stuff, and that kind of what scared us away. Thankfully, because we would have been. I mean, I guess we could have. I mean, I tagged out in the first 2 hours of opening morning when I went for my antelope on that Wyoming film that we did. And then Zach went down. You took it down to the wire, right? You did
Yep.
like a 4-day hunt or
Yeah,
something.
I killed the last morning.
Last morning.
I had to leave that day, and I killed that morning.
Yeah, same unit. We hunted the same unit just a year apart.
Yep.
Nice.
But I'd go back for sure.
It's. So
I would go
fun.
back too. Yeah, it was super fun. Like
I love it.
I went
It's
down
fun.
there by myself, never hunted antelope, and like
Yeah.
I remember leaving, and I was like, I know I legitimately became a better hunter in these 4 days.
Oh, for
just
sure,
by
dude.
being by myself, learning a new animal, figuring
Yes.
out stuff, like
Yeah,
all of that. I was like,
it's not
this
like-
was so fun.
you're pretty
In
close
the
to your
wise
vehicle.
words of
You're not
Ryan
like bombing
Barney.
up huge mountains. Sorry to. I was just saying, it's like
Yeah.
an approachable hunt. You know.
It is.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
Sorry, Jeff, go ahead.
I could cover like 9 miles in no time because it was just so wide open and just like
Yeah.
rolly, easy
Yeah.
stuff, and like
Yeah.
oh, it was awesome.
I was gonna say in the wise words of Brian Barney, those animals are turned on.
They,
like,
they
They
are.
notice you from a long ways out. Like like they not scared of cars, but I swear when you
Yes.
get out, man,
As
they
soon as you
notice
stop,
you.
as
Oh,
soon
yeah.
as you stop, they're like,
What's this guy doing?
"What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Why'd you stop over there, bud?"
Yes.
Like,
He's like walking away, smelling a doe, and then the car door slams, and he's like, "Ugh,
yeah,
"What was that? Let me
Yeah.
walk to the private again."
yeah.
Yeah, it was
I
crazy,
belly
man.
crawled for like 1,200 yards to get in
Yeah.
close enough because there's
Yeah.
just
Dang,
no
man.
cover, and I just had like cactus
It's-
needles stuck in my
Oh,
knees.
dude.
Oh,
and-
yeah.
Yep. Same in my elbows.
yeah.
And
So fun though.
it's
So
so
fun.
fun.
It is, man.
Um,
Like in the Wyoming, like the tag that we drew, we're in like those red clay hills, and
Yeah, I saw
so
that.
pretty, man. Like something I've never experienced. I'd never ever see that particular country other in Wyoming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only time I'd ever go without hunting would probably be like Yellowstone, the Tetons or something.
Yeah,
But to
Wyoming
see
is super
this
cool.
part of Wyoming, like I
Mhm.
would never have gone there without hunting antelope. So
Yeah,
like
Eastern
yeah,
Wyoming
go
is
go do
cool.
it.
Yeah,
I bet. Yeah.
and that's why I want to do this. This is the first episode. Was I always talk about that. It's like it's probably the best way to start Western hunting is do an antelope hunt. Like
It's a
so
great way.
approachable.
It is,
you
dude.
learn a
Yes.
ton.
Yeah.
You
can have
even
a
if you screw
huge,
up
like,
really
truck
bad, it's
camp.
not bad. Yeah,
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you're gonna get multiple opportunities. You're gonna have multiple stalking chances,
Yeah.
like all
Yeah.
that stuff. Like you're gonna see antelope. It's just a matter of
yeah.
like
Yeah.
whether you get close enough or not.
Or
it's
if
just
they're
like
on
one of
public.
those things. Exactly.
Yep.
And so like
you could realistically do a hotel if you wanted. You're probably gonna get a little bit more milder weather than like deer hunting or elk hunting. If you want to like go back in there, you could do a huge extravagant wall tent camp or a big truck camp and go into the town and get a burger every night if you want to.
Yeah.
You don't have to backpack in for antelope and do all this crazy stuff that we like to do for deer, bear, and elk.
Yep.
Antelope, I'm 100% with you. And I said that as soon as we were done, I was like, my kids could do this for their first hunt.
Yeah.
Like we can make this super comfortable.
Yeah.
Like
stay
at a hotel,
cousin, we took my
trailer.
dad and my uncle, who my uncle's getting older. Like he can't walk that great. He didn't kill an antelope, but he got we shot this one. Me and my cousin, shot a doe, his first Western game animal ever, and
it's super cool.
Yeah. It is.
It was
How far was the drive for you, Hunter, from Virginia?
On that first one or the one this year?
Either one. To one.
Neither one of them I drove. So I flew out there and met my dad drove out there for that first one, and me and my cousin flew out and met him because I was still working for the church actually at the time, and
nice.
Just met him out there, and they picked us up at the airport in rental vehicles. We did it like that.
Did you drive out to Montana last year for your buck, or did you fly as well?
I fly for pretty much everything now. I did try last spring bear season driving out to Idaho, and it was like between 12 and 14-hour days of driving in a row. Just
oh my God. You drove to Idaho?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude.
And I was like, dude, this is not sustainable. Not just like 3 like 6-hour days, like 3 like 14-hour driving days.
Oh my God.
Just 3 excruciating days.
Dude,
your ass must have just been asleep for a week.
Dude, and my brain.
He gets out of truck, he's like, I literally can't hunt. I'm in a wheelchair.
No, I mean, yeah, and your brain just goes funky, and you're eating gross fast food, and like you're just being super unhealthy. Yeah. And so literally, when I got back from the trip, because I came out of the backcountry for like 9 days, like hiking and eating, pretty lean and stuff, and then sitting in the car eating garbage and just hating my life for 3 days. When I got out, I was like, I had like edema, like my feet were like puffed up like elephant feet. It was like I had an injury, man. Like it took me like 2 months to get back to where I was, like physically.
So you're like, after that, you're like, I'm flying. That's why Jeff built planes over there in Washington State. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I usually fly out and get a rental vehicle or work something out.
How's the logistics of that? Because we've been really contemplating this the last couple of years on doing, these Colorado trips. Like they're not 3 days, but they're 20 to 22 hour straight pulls for us.
Yeah, and if we were gonna apply for like New Mexico stuff, that's like the big one. That's always been like the barrier to applying for New Mexico is like, how are we going to get there, and how are we getting all of our stuff there and getting back and this and that, and the logistics between
it's a whole different ball game when you're used to just throwing your stuff in your truck and just driving. It's a whole different ball game. I mean, like not only do I got to think about weight and bulk that I'm hiking in, I got to think about weight and bulk like that I'm carrying on the plane too.
Yeah.
So it definitely kind of sucks in some ways, but you can work around it. Like for example, on that Montana hunt that I did, this same hunt you guys did, that's my buck right there.
Yeah.
That's a cool episode. That'll be coming out in a while, but
nice.
I am finished with it though.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
But I can't release it for like
that
ever.
was a jab at me.
Yeah,
it was. It totally was.
Jab?
Yeah.
I jabbed you. No, but I like to just get them done really fast, like when I get home. But anyway, my cameraman picked me up in his truck and had brought his wall tent, and my buddy Logan is his name. And he helped me out in the hunt, filmed it, brought a wall tent, huge stove. It was sick. And we hunted on that general tag for 6 days, killed this pretty good buck, and saw one guy probably 5 miles away through my binoculars, like one time.
Wow.
Yeah.
We didn't really see very many people either.
No, we didn't.
Like we would pass some people like driving from area.
Yeah, on the main roads you see people, but once you get
that was it.
And we had, I don't know where you guys were, but I got there when it was like the first day was like -21 with everything was just covered in snow. Did you guys get there?
I think you were there. I think you were there
3 days before us.
Yeah, like just like a few days before us.
So that storm that covered everything in snow when you guys were there, that was just it had just hit like right when we got there, like right after.
That's brutal.
But no, it was cool though. An awesome hunt. It was fun.
Yeah.
Definitely fun. We're going back this year.
Yeah.
Did you get deer too?
No, I just did elk. I decided like I haven't killed an elk yet, dude. So it was like this year, like my goal is elk.
Let's go.
Yeah.
And
and I draw this less than 2% draw New Mexico tag.
That's super
How
cool,
crazy is that?
That's so cool.
Yeah, that's served you on a silver platter right there. Hopefully you can capitalize
I hope
on that.
so, man. It's kind of weird though. It's kind of weird pressure too.
Yeah, and the muzzleloader, like, don't sleep on that. Don't think it's a slam dunk or anything.
Dude.
You know,
like I said, I've been running ranges every single week for the past 3 weeks, and I'm going to continue like until it's go time, pretty much, or I run out of primers.
Did you watch my Idaho muzzleloader elk hunt?
I haven't watched it yet. Did you get one?
Yeah. No, just don't watch it.
Why did you not get one?
I drew one of probably a 2% tag in Idaho.
Yeah.
And just kind of slept on the muzzleloader thing, if I'm going to be completely honest. Didn't really think it was going to affect me that much. Kind of point and shoot, right? Caveman style. And I could have just done some more, I could have took it more seriously and shot way more like you are. And then I kind of just went like 3 or 4 times to the range. I live right by a range, kind of showed up there a couple different times. My buddy Jacob did all the loading for me, so I just kind of had to pour powder and shoot and tell him what I saw. And did it like 3 or 4 times. Everything was doing good, shooting good, grouping good at 100 yards. And that's all I did. I didn't do anything 200 or 150 to step at 100. And I was like, I'll just get closer. It's going to be in the snow. It's going to be quiet. First day, right out of the truck, setting up the wall tent, and we see like 3 bulls. They're all 6 points. And I was like, I don't care. I'm shooting any of those bulls. Let's go. Yeah. So we just kind of set up camp. This is all on YouTube. If you guys are listening, go to the PNWild YouTube channel. Shameless plug. Idaho elk hunt. Spotted this bull again. It was with my buddy Clint and Travis. We get super tight. Get back up to this glassing knob. Find them bedded, laying down in their bed. Get in super tight. Get into like 72 yards. Laying down prone. He was quartering away pretty hard. Got amazing footage of it thanks to my buddy Clint. He had the camera for me
while he was bedded.
Yeah, he was quartering away really, really hard. And my buddy Clint was like, dude, smoke him in his bed. Laying down prone. I should have just like cow called. I could have done a million different things, and just like and watch him get up and be like, what the hell? Like, where are you at?
Yeah.
And then smack him when he stood up. But I shot him when he was laying down. Everything was great. It looked great. My buddy was watching through the spotting scope and said, yeah, man, you hammered him right behind the shoulder. And I was like, well, that's not good, because I was kind of aiming towards like that back rib because he was quartering away so hard. And if it like snuck in the back rib, it kind of went out and went out the shoulder. Smacked him, hurt everything, got up there, got on blood. And it was just like pin drop for, 2 hours, and then a blizzard came in and covered everything up. And
dang, dude.
Never got to recover.
The only thing we can think just from like reviewing that footage is that it was just forward and probably deflected off that shoulder blade.
Yeah.
And just didn't actually get the penetration, And that's why he was saying, like, when his buddy was like smacked him right behind the shoulder, it's like, oh no. If he was
quartering away,
hard, it's just going to deflect and ride up. So
I was thinking as you were saying that too, like when you have a 300 Win Mag and like a deer-sized animal, you can get away with a little bit of stuff. With a huge elk like bedded, you just don't get those same grace with a muzzleloader. And with a muzzleloader too, I mean, you gotta have a perfect shot, really. But anyway,
and that's exactly what I was talking about, man. And I'm totally joking. I don't care. Like it's all.
No, dude, it happens. You live and you learn. And I've done stupid stuff, and I've done way stupid stuff. Better.
I'm digging through my phone right now. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm trying to send you the picture of the bull.
Oh, okay.
Cool. It's and yeah, dude, I definitely learned from it. And like I said, I should have just just probably took more. Investigated muzzleloaders more. And I had that John McAdams guy on the podcast twice. I was with him, he was with us, and he said those exact words you just said. He's like, with muzzleloaders, you don't have that like error like you do with a rifle. You could hammer him with a rifle and get another one in there in like a second too. Yeah. And he was up and gone before I could get another shot in him. But
dude, I've been like going nerding out and like weighing my black powder by weight and stuff, and like because I actually noticed that the volume tubes, a lot of them are very like inconsistent. Like if you hold 2 of them up, the line, like if the same model and everything, the line will be different on each one.
Oh, really?
So I started weighing myself with a little reloading scale. I just sent
you the pictures of that bull that I lost.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah, thanks, Hunter. Appreciate that.
Dude, that is a sick bull.
Yes, he was. Just laying there for the taking.
Oh my gosh. And that's what he was doing when you shot him?
Yep, that's
Just like
exactly
that?
how he was sitting. But that's through the spotter. My buddy was probably 800 yards away, and he took those pictures. That's actually a video. We didn't have any way to communicate with him to hey hit record. I'm going to shoot. But on the actual video itself, like I'm 70 yards away from it, so the footage is awesome.
You see the bullet hit and everything?
No, because the shot, like, it's on a handy cam, and the shot is like, and it, like, obviously scared. You do a flinch.
Yeah,
so it's not on a tripod.
Flinch.
Exactly. So he's right behind me, and it just goes boom, and he just slightly moves, no fault of his own. It's just like natural, reflexes.
If you're not on a tripod, it's done.
Exactly. Yeah, and he flickers a little bit, and you can't really see where impact is. But I mean, there was blood, confirmed hit, had sprinkles and stuff. When we got down in the timber, it got really hard to track, but then he'd go over a log and we'd see it dragging, like from the brisket, the blood running down. And, he got to one bed, and there was a nice pile of blood. And then by this time it's dumping snow on us, getting dark. He gets all the way through the timber and into the sage. And then it was kind of like, now what? And then by this time it's just blizzard situations. We woke up the next morning and there's 4 inches of snow.
Dang, dude.
So covered everything
They're
up.
super tough animals, man.
Yeah, then that next morning, I'm not positive if it was him, but we saw right in that same exact drainage. So it came out of the timber into the sagebrush and then down into another drainage. And that next evening, when we went back in there, I spotted 2 more bulls that were side by side, kind of the same situation. And one of them was a beautiful 7-point, just like him. So I think it was him, but I can't just be 100%. So maybe he lived. I don't know. I don't know where I hit him.
Yeah. If you hunt long enough, it'll happen to you. So
yeah. And then on that trip, I got within 150 like 3 more times. So if I would have been able to shoot, 1 to 150, I could have got 3 or 4 opportunities on bulls.
That extra little 50 yards can be huge.
It does, man. Yeah, we got busted at like 142, like 150, like right on the dot. I had a 6-point stare to me, like 150 broadside, and it's like I don't know where to aim. So goodbye, shoo now. But it was a lot of fun, man. It was a really cool hunt. I learned a ton, like Zach said, on the antelope. You just learned a ton, and then stalking on bulls and animals. Like every time you get a stalk in, you're learning something.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Especially every time you screw up on the stalk.
Oh yeah, because then that's what
Definitely
makes
learn
you mad.
more
So
when you
remember that. Oh yeah, failure is the best teacher by far.
It is. I found that for sure. Like when you
It
kill
hurts,
something, you just
but
get
it
wrapped
works.
up and like, oh, I killed it. You don't even like think about it. Nothing. You're
Exactly.
just like, take care of the meat, party, whatever.
Yeah.
You don't ever say, remember that one time everything worked out great? Yeah.
Yeah. But you always dissect those failures big time.
Oh yeah, man, 100%.
I've been dissecting my bear hunt big time. Like same thing. Like when you're saying like editing, just putting it together, just like punching myself in the face. Like, why did you do this? Why did you do that?
Yeah.
Can't help it.
I do that constantly when I'm hunting, man. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, or when I'm editing, excuse me. Like,
yeah.
what are we doing right here?
You're so dumb. Me.
Why'd we do this? But hey, man, like that's also the fun part of hunting,
Absolutely.
It's just it is just true wild. You're in crazy wild in areas and environments, and you're playing chess at the highest level with an animal that does not want to die.
Right. Yeah.
And that's the true beauty of hunting. And sometimes, man, you just got to tip the hat because sometimes they win.
Yeah,
and that's okay.
And it should be that way. They should win.
Yes.
More than they lose.
Absolutely. Yeah.
If you killed every time, it wouldn't be. I mean, it would still be fun, but it wouldn't be the same.
I bet. I mean, I bet Ryan Lampers is having a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seriously, dude.
It looks like that guy's having a ball.
He just doesn't stop until he kills. Like,
Exactly.
No matter what.
He's got the time. He's just got the. I mean, the drive, everything.
Dude, that guy is.
Yeah.
It's comical at this point. Every time he gets back from a hunt and he starts posting like pictures, I'm just like, well, there it is again.
And it's not just pictures of it's always like giant, mature, every species.
And like a cougar, a wolf, like the most crazy. Like
goes to Alaska for the first time. Is this 90-inch moose good? Is this cool?
Like the one that blew my mind was the coos deer hunts that he did, for the first time, and kills like a giant coos. And I remember like Kirshner and stuff were like, I've never even seen one that big, and I live here. Like, what the hell?
Yeah,
you know.
He is so impressive, man.
He is, dude.
So impressive.
I've never hunted directly with him, but I've been on trips where he was there and like shared camp with them.
Yeah.
So crazy good hunter, man.
Yes, on another level, just truly. I'm sure there's other guys out there that are like that are just not in social media or just don't do much. But
for sure.
As far as like Western public public land big game hunting that we know of, he's the pinnacle, man. And I'm not just saying it. Like he's got to be.
Yeah.
He's just incredible. The way
Brian Barney's up there too. I would say
Barney,
especially for doing everything,
is a killer too.
Yeah, and Brian doing everything with a bow is just super impressive.
Yes, dude, super for sure. Impressive. There's a handful of them, man, but yeah, I think Lampers, dude, he's
definitely up there, man. Really good
for
hunter.
Sure.
Yep. And he's having a great time killing stuff.
Oh, for sure, he's living the dream.
Yep.
For sure. Well, dude, I wish we could talk more, but I do feel like I need to go put my kids to bed. But,
okay. I get it, man. Let's rain check this one or not rain check. What do you call it? Reschedule this one, and we'll do another one. Let's do another one like mid-season or
wait, reschedule it. What do you mean?
Like do another one.
Oh yeah, for sure. I was like, we just did it. We can't reschedule it now.
Yeah, get another one on the books.
Okay, yeah, dude, for sure. Let's like after elk season, you mean, or just whenever?
Let's do that.
I'm down. Yeah. Cool.
Our season will be officially done by like Thanksgiving, and then we're kind of done by then. But that's a long ways out. We can do another one mid-season or something.
Yeah,
after your elk hunt or something, we can do a recap of my elk hunt and your elk hunt or something like that.
Yeah.
I'll be done too around mid-November. So
okay.
Because I'm doing that elk trip, and then I'm going like 4 days later to with Luke to try to kill a blacktail in Oregon.
Oh, nice.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
That'll
be my late November.
Yeah, though the season goes till November 10th this year, and it's just an over-the-counter blacktail tag.
Oh, okay, cool.
That's
so
cool.
Picking up a tag, and Luke's from out there, so he knows some stuff.
Yeah,
that'll be cool, man.
Yeah, it'll be fun. And then after that, I'm done for like 2 months until probably February or something.
Okay. Yeah, we'll circle back and we'll do another one.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks. This was fun chatting with y'all.
Yeah, good talking to you.
All right, man. I mean, guys. I'm not used to speaking to two people.
Yeah, all right, mans.
All right, mens.
All right.